Hello everybody, welcome back to Digital Charcuterie. It's me, Andrew Fantasia, and it's another Marvel United Deep Dive. And I have a question for everyone. Very important, serious question. What do you think a planet tastes like? We're only a few months away now from the Fantastic Four movie where we are finally going to see Galactus in all his giant purple helmeted glory. And I can't tell you how excited I am. I can't tell you how excited my buddy Ryan is, because he is a Fantastic Four fanatic, and that's kind of hard to say. But we are just chomping at the bit to see some Galactus action. But thankfully, we've got some great Galactus action here and now to keep us occupied. But before that happens, speaking of things that are large, purple, and magnificent, heyo, well, really, this one mostly. This is substantially less purple. But see this is We Were Wizards. This is my fantasy novel series that I have written. There's my name, my picture's on the back. There's some information about them if you want to freeze frame that. We Were Wizards is an epic adventure inspired by the likes of Star Wars and Lost and Lord of the Rings and all the stuff that I grew up just loving and that I still love now. You can get them on Amazon right now in paperback and ebook and hardcover. These are the hardcovers. I really like them. They're just something glorious about holding my work in hardcover format. I tell you, the first time that happened, I shed a few tears of joy. But We Were Wizards, Seekers of the Stones is book 1. Ghosts of Wizards Past is book 11, but you're supposed to read it after book 1. I promise it will make sense. Please don't cry. Anyway, pick those up now on Amazon for the fantasy fan in your life. And then join me at the table, because there's a Galactus that needs to be sated. And his stomach is a-rumbling, and he's coming. On a quiet day, you can hear his footsteps. Let's check out what's in this box. Oh boy, this box is pretty bootylicious. Look at the girth of this thing. But surprisingly, a very light box, all things considered. I was trying to think of a good movie recommendation to pair with this, and I have a great movie to pair with it. I just do not own the movie because I only just discovered it recently, and that is the Jon Favreau film, Chef. Because that movie is going to make you want to eat everything you see, just like Galactus himself. Chef is a magnificent story, though. It's a great, great motion picture. So check that out. And then once you've eaten and had your fill, because you should not watch that movie on an empty stomach, then you can play The Coming of Galactus. Now, as I just mentioned, despite its girth, this is a very light box, and usually board game boxes, when they're thick, you're calling a friend to come help load it onto a flatbed truck. But that's not the case with Marvel United: The Coming of Galactus. So let's turn this over here. And oh man, this box just makes me so happy for a million reasons. All right. I really hope, by the way, based on how much we're getting inside, I really hope you're watching, Simon. I really hope that the Batman Arkham Asylum breakout box is exactly this thick, because it's got to hold a lot of characters and a lot of cards, so that would be nice. All right, let's flip you over, being very careful of the giant purple man who is inside. The Coming of Galactus. Let's read this here. In his insatiable hunger to consume world after world, the cosmic behemoth known as Galactus has always relied on his herald to pave the way for his conquests. However, the Silver Surfer has betrayed him, forcing Galactus to look for new heralds. Searching the universe for suitable replacements, he conscripted 4 powerful beings. With the aid of his heralds, can anyone stop the coming of Galactus? Well, I certainly hope so, because if not, we're all in a lot of trouble. So let me very gently flip this back down. There we go. And now we're going to open this box up. And man, it was neck and neck between this and Maximum Carnage for which was my favorite box, which one had me the most excited. Ask me on any given day and the answer might change, but I really did settle on Maximum Carnage for next week for the final expansion, because that one, I just have a lot of great memories of Maximum Carnage tied into my best friend, because he and I loved it so much. And we'll talk about that when we do that next week. So that personal touch just edged Carnage over Galactus, but still, these are both magnificent boxes. So here you go. The Coming of Galactus is going to come with a rule book, and it's a hefty one. Whoa, there he is. Look at that beautiful art. Like Galactus himself, it's a hefty book because there's a lot going on in here. So you're not getting just the leaflet, folks. You're getting the whole shebang. In fact, this is almost the length of a core box rulebook. Maybe about 3/4 of a core box rulebook. So there is your component list. And then there is the Coming of Galactus, how to play it as a mode, much like the Infinity Gauntlet, and how all the Galactus stuff works. If you want to fight the heralds, that's its own battle, which I fought, and it's very fun. I really liked fighting the heralds. And then how supervillain mode works with it, how team mode works with it, and then the modular heralds, which is a lot of fun, and some special rules for Firelord. So yeah, you've got, did I say 3/4 of a instruction manual? Maybe it's more like half, but still, there's a lot of rules in there, but they're good rules, so it's fun. And here are our two, count them, two oversized villain dashboards. One for the Heralds of Galactus with all the special setup that you might need, and you track everything here. You've got your tracker cube that goes for the Herald's plot. You have this thing, which signifies what the 4 heralds are going to be doing at all times. So you want to keep on top of that and use that to strategize. Not the most interesting dashboard visually, but it gets the job done because of how modular that mode is. And then underneath the Heralds of Galactus is the Galactus dashboard himself. Oh boy, look at all that special setup. There's a lot of goodies in there, but it's worth it because it's Galactus. Sorry, I just went to close my furnace room door because my furnace is the loudest furnace known to mankind. So I wanted the audio to be a little bit cleaner. But there he is. There's Galactus in all his pink and purple glory, and blue. We often forget Galactus does like to rock some blue sometimes too. So those 2 dashboards are waiting for you in here, as are 6 locations, and they are some of the best locations to ever come out of a Marvel United expansion. And that would be the 6 main continents excluding Antarctica. So there's Africa and everything it can do. There is Europe. There is Asia with Galactus's shadow looming over it. Terrifying. There is Oceania. Hello, Meeple Monkey. And it has a strange end of turn effect. There is North America. Hello, me. And a lot of other people that I know. And there is South America. Groovy. And the sides that are in the day are appropriately in the day, and the sides that are in the night are at night. This was really well thought out. And yes, according to the rules, folks, the hero's starting location has to be your real life location. So I'm playing this in North America. I always have to start there if I'm using this mode. And then underneath that, you have other villain dashboards of regular size. Whoops. And man, I can't stress enough how happy it makes me that every herald is their own playable villain. I'm looking in your direction, Horsemen of Apocalypse and Brotherhood of Mutants. If the X-Men season dropped the ball in any way, it's that. It's that the villain teams just operated as teams and not as individuals. And I love having the option to do both. So we have Airwalker here. We have Firelord. Wow. We have Nova, the Frankie Ray Nova, and we have Terrax, who is very frightening, and he has a villainous plot track. And let's take a look at the back. Nothing special for Terrax's setup, a little bit of special for her, a lot of special for Firelord, and nothing special for Airwalker. Individually, I think Airwalker is the only one that I've fought, and I believe I fought him twice now. The other ones, I don't think I have fought individually yet, so looking forward to that. But yeah, folks, this makes me, I really need to stress, this makes me just ecstatic that yes, you're getting Galactus in this box, and yes, you're getting his heralds as his henchmen, but you're also getting 4, let's be real, 4 kind of C-list villains, but they are very cool. They're all unique. They all have a different thing going on, and you can play with them individually. That is what Marvel United is all about for me. That is just spectacular. And I hope and I pray that when DC Superheroes United tackles all of the people who work for Darkseid, that the same thing happens, that they will all be individual villains, even though you can have them kind of team up together and do whatever the Darkseid wants them to do. Because that's variety, baby. That's the spice of life, and that's the spice of this game. What do we got here? We have our tracker chits here. That's for when you're playing the Heralds of Galactus mode. You've got your A's, your B's, your C's, and your D's, and you use those on this part right here. Where is it? Where did it go? I'm trying to be careful here. You use that here. You put them on this, and you slide that token down as each Herald reacts to what's happening on the board. So that goes right there. We have cards here all over the place. On the left side, we have Frankie Ray Nova and the Heralds of Galactus cards. So let me start with Frankie Ray here. So appropriately, the red ones are her villain cards. These are Nova's master plan cards. She does a lot of bad things, and she does not have threats, something that a lot of people were concerned about. There are no threats for Frankie Ray. Just to clarify here, Nova has no threat cards, so keep the threat tokens in a side pool. Okay, so if you get this box, you are not missing cards. They were not stolen from you. Nova only has a master plan deck. All right, and then here's Frankie Ray Nova's hero cards, which are adequately purple because she is an anti-hero / dual mode character / Winky Pinky Poo Poo. All right, that's all of the Nova stuff. Underneath that, we have the Heralds of Galactus cards, which is its own mode. And they come with threat cards there, like so, as well as their master plan cards. And it's blank like that. They don't have pictures of the heralds on the front here because it is a modular mode based on the rules. And this is really, really cool too. Just another great way to customize your gameplay. You can swap out really any of these characters for any other villains. Hence the reason why these tokens are double-sided. If you play with the regular Heralds of Galactus mode, yeah, there you go. You just use that for Terrax, and then you track where Terrax is. But let's say you use 4 totally different villains, then you just assign them whatever. Let's say you really want to make Kingpin and the Brood Queen Heralds of Galactus. Well, there you go. Kingpin is represented by the D, the Brood Queen is represented by the B. That's what these are for. And you can do that because Marvel United is that kind of game. All right, this side has the master plan cards for Airwalker and for Terrax and for Firelord. And I'm really excited to face off against Firelord, but it hasn't happened yet. So Firelord has his own mission cards, his free Firelord mission cards. So he's got this whole thing going on that I'm really stoked for. Then he has his henchmen, who are all Annihilus Seekers, and then his master plan deck. And underneath that, we have Terrax. Terrax is very scary. He's going to be jumping around, landing on places, and causing a whole lot of havoc with his giant axe. And finally, Airwalker, he has all the same threats as well. 6 of the same. Hyper light speed. He's very, very fast. And there are his cards. So you've got 4 great villain decks in there just for the Heralds. But then the main event, the man of the hour, and seeing him drawn in the Edouard Guiton United fashion for the first time ever was a treat, let me tell you. So let me move that for a second, and that. So here are his threat cards, because he's special. He's a special boy. His threat cards include the Power Cosmic, but it also includes 1 of each of his heralds as henchmen. But then you've got this. You've got new heralds, because new heralds pop up after you kill the old ones. And then these that I just tossed down here, these cards here were special promo cards that came when I believe they're Kickstarter exclusive, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm going to double check that. I don't think they are. But they allow you, they're optional. They allow you to swap out Silver Surfer as a herald if you own the other Fantastic Four box. So here he is as a henchman, if you want to fight him as a henchman. And here's his herald card. I believe that's for a separate mode. I believe that's for the Heralds of Galactus mode. But there you go. If you want to have him as one of the heralds, they have given you the option. So that's that right there. And then his Master Plan deck is ginormous. I believe it's 24 cards. So he's always bamming, but you're getting a lot of Galactus action. Oh, he's not always bamming. I lied. 24 cards, double the Master Plan deck, because he's a big deal in every sense of the word. All right. So those can go back here. And alongside the Galactus battle, you need this, the Stop Galactus mission cards, which override the regular mission cards. And you need to complete these as they come up so that you can finally use the Ultimate Nullifier to convince Galactus to spare Earth. That is the final mission. That goes at the bottom of the deck. So there it is. That's how you stop Galactus, by going through all of those. Now we're going to take off this top and finally take a gander at the minis within. So I think we all know how this is going to play out. My least favorite mini in here is Terrax. And there's nothing wrong with Terrax, but he's in such grand company that he didn't stand a chance, poor guy. Very Darkseid-esque face, huge axe. He should team up with Black Dwarf, and they can have an axe off. One of them might have axe envy, I don't know. But I feel like they would either get along or kill each other, or both. And he's standing on like a moony surface with some craters. Isn't that nice? All right, awesome stuff. I know, Terrax, you're angry. I'm sorry. So there, he's upset because I said he was my least favorite. Oh boy, it's so hard to choose. But my next one is going to be Frankie Ray Nova. It was such a treat when they, first of all, when they announced this and I saw the heralds for the first time, and I flipped out and I absolutely lost control. But then I saw this and I saw that it was Frankie Ray. And I wondered to myself, are they going to make her an anti-hero? Because she is really anti-hero material. And sure enough, they said she is an anti-hero. She's just so fiery that all the purple on the base is completely invisible. So this is a purple mini. She's just engulfed in flames in a way that makes Human Torch look tame by comparison. The bottom part reminds me of a throat lozenge. It's the exact same color, and it almost feels that way too. But this is so cool, man. Look at her. I'd be afraid to fight somebody who looked like that. I love when CMON does this. I've been checking out their Massive Darkness 2 campaign because it's just been fun to keep an eye on that, even though I can't afford to get another game. And they finally added, late in the game, they added like some ooze monsters who were green and translucent. And I'm like, yay, there's the CMON touch. That's what I love to see. After her, I'm going to go, oh boy, I guess I'm going to go with Airwalker. But man, that's tough. Again, he's standing on a lozenge too. And he's walking on fiery air, hence the name. And his fire wings are keeping him aloft. And they are just big and chunky and gorgeous. And he's walking on air. Like, what more do you want? Oh my gosh. How can I choose in this box? How can I choose? He's terrific. The fact that I got to fight him twice already, I got to see him in action, makes it all the more interesting. And a very, very close second place is Firelord, because I love his hair. I love that he's holding a giant flaming Q-tip, and I love that he also has a lozenge on his base, but he is surfing on a wave of fire. Now, this guy is, I first heard about him from the Silver Surfer Nintendo game, of all things. And I thought, oh, there's like a character that nobody really talks about, is Firelord. And then CMON goes and has the audacity to put him in this game, which made me overjoyed. So I can't remember if he was in the Silver Surfer cartoon. I hope he was. I'm excited to rewatch that. But man, isn't that just glorious? Look at that hair. like really these last three are all kind of bunched together as my three favorites. But the man himself really is something special. He's very light because he's hollow, but he's sturdy and he's made of a softer, almost rubbery plastic, almost like a vinyl. It might be vinyl actually. But it gives him the right amount of weight so that this box isn't a monster. And he looks so detailed. He's got this base that's a moon base. There's the little arrow showing where he's pointing, so you always know who he's attacking. And I mean, I don't know what more to say. It's Galactus, and he looks pitch perfect. He's coming for you. Ooh, he's gonna eat you. He's gonna eat you. Wow. And he's gonna sound like Ralph Ineson in the movie, so that's gonna be something else. Let me see. Let me try to make him talk like Ralph Ineson using a quote from the movie The Witch, because he was in that. Okay, ready? Jonas, leave thy sister be. He has a great voice. I can't do it justice. But if he's going to sound anything like that in the movie, we're in for a treat. And I know when it comes to minis, and you know, especially compared to the Marvel Zombies Galactus, which was shockingly, laughably big, people might say, oh, this is tiny. But as a United mini, I think it's the perfect height. Because as we can see, he towers over everybody. He towers over Sentinels. He towers over all the main characters. So it's adequate for what United is without going overboard. Because I would not have room in my small apartment for a mini the size of the one from Marvel Zombies. All right, that'll do it for The Coming of Galactus, which is an absolutely bonkers good expansion. Every time my random number generator brings up anybody from this box, I am overcome with joy, and I gleefully rush to open it up. And I feel like I'm going to have the same joy when I crack open that Arkham Asylum Breakout box, hence why I want it to be the same girth, because I feel like it's just going to be equally enticing to get that box and its contents to the table. So I hope you can get your hands on it, because it is everything we could have possibly wanted for Galactus out of the United system. They absolutely nailed this fight by adding those 4 heralds as 4 villains. They made people like me who love variety ecstatic. This is a perfect box. Now let's see how many points of worthiness we can award it. I hope it's a lot. Despite its size, there's actually only a small tally of things in the box. Most of that, is just some wiggle room for Galactus's big old butt. But this box is going to contain 1 regular mini. That's poor Terrax. He's left out of the loop. And then the other 4 minis are special minis. So altogether, the minis will nab you 9 points. 5 villains can be found in this box. So remember what counts as a villain. That would be Airwalker, Firelord, Terrax, Galactus, and then the Heralds of Galactus. That in itself is a villain battle. And then there's 1 anti-hero, Frankie Ray Nova. You get 6 locations, which gets you 3 points, for a grand total of 25 points of worthiness. Once again, we continue to just overshadow all of the expansions that have come before. Season 3 spoiled us. It absolutely spoiled us. And now there's only 1 normal expansion left before the big final stretch goal box, and then we're done. We've finished all our deep dives. So as I've said, Maximum Carnage just edged out Galactus for me because of the personal bias that I have with my best friend growing up with that. So we're going to talk about that next week here on the Digital Charcuterie channel as we continue to make the wait for DC Superheroes United a little bit shorter and a whole lot sweeter. Check out We Were Wizards, and I'll see you next time. Ciao for now.